All right. Well, greetings, everyone. Thank you very much for making time today on this Bob Marley Day of Service Eve. Your participation in tomorrow's initiative is truly a special way to honor the legacy of one of the Caribbean's greatest sons, the legendary, the prophet Bob Marley. It was important for us to make Bob Marley Day a day of service because he gave so much to the world. He gave so much of himself to the world. And what he brought to the world was not just, music that'll live forever, but it was a new presence that we haven't felt and seen. It was an existence that we didn't see. It was a confidence. It was a presence that wasn't diluted. It wasn't corrupted. It was pure, and it was intentional. And he cared for his people. He cared for his country. And he shared so much in his music of his perspectives that challenged a lot of people and made them slightly uncomfortable. His appearance made people uncomfortable, but he continued to push forward, and he continued to elevate not just reggae music, but the island of Jamaica. And tomorrow, as we launch this initiative, this day of service in his honor, we do this to pave a way for every little girl, every little boy that lives in these islands that have big dreams and feel that maybe being from a little island, they will not be able to impact the world. And I think that has a lot to do with our effort tomorrow when it comes to picking up a little bit of plastic here and a little bit of debris there. What kind of impact will it have on the world? And I think we want to shift from that frame of mind and believe that what we are going to contribute collectively is going to make a difference. And I think that's where the strength comes. When we put aside our differences and we see ourselves as one village, we see ourselves as with one beach, and we do something collectively that builds sustainability in our communities. So the Bob Marley Day of Service really started in a small island called Carriacou. And this is a place that is celebrating its 50th anniversary, just as Grenada, as it is a part of Grenada, the Tri-Islands. So it's Grenada, it's Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And these three islands basically make up Grenada. And that island has my family roots. My family roots are in Grenada, in Carriacou. My grandfather, Bernard Stewart, is a master seaman. And he made his living on the water. He made his living from the water. And I have a great respect for what he and all those men and women who live off the water and live in the water, and what they have to go through every day. And it is a livelihood. It is a profession. And it's not just a profession that we take lightly, because it's an historical profession. It's something that gets passed on from generations. The little island, the little part of the island that I live in Carriacou, called Windward, is known for boat making. And their generations of families have made boats and passed on the skill sets and passed on, the tricks of the trade. And that is a livelihood, and that is an art that is indigenous to the Caribbean community. And so we want to preserve it. And so as Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique are celebrating their 50 years of independence, which is actually February 7th. The entire islands have been, excuse me, all three islands have gone over a massive makeover. And not just a physical makeover, but a mental makeover. You know, the people have a sense of pride in themselves. They have a sense of pride in their community. And they're celebrating 50 years of independence. And as I spent my time there, since the moment I landed here on the island, I was asking myself, you know, what legacy building initiatives will come from this? Because I realized once the momentum's gone, what are we left with? And I think, you know, the celebration and the fun, you know, it has its value and it has its place, but we also need to think about how do we use this moment as we build up this momentum and this capacity. How do we use and turn this and cultivate this momentum into something that will last beyond this milestone moment in history? And I spent a lot of time seeking wisdom on how I can use my resources, how I could use my energy towards producing something like that. And it wasn't until I took a walk in my very own, basically, backyard, which leads right to the ocean, and I saw the condition of our shores in this particular side of the island. Now, there's another side of the island where there's another beach, which is ranked #1, Paradise Island. Ranked #1 of all islands, #1 beach by the USA Today. Okay, so and this is the second out of third 3 years, I believe, that they received that recognition. And so, you know, to have this contrast where on the same island we have the #1 beach in the world, and then we have, you know, my own backyard, which is horrendous. It's horrendous, and it's not just man-made pollution, but there's a lot of things that the sea produces that doesn't have any value being on the beach, like the seaweed. All right, and that takes an effort for cleanup because that rots and that builds and that has detrimental effects on just the quality of life for the people. And so that's some of the things that we talk about. There's that cleaning beaches not only has a longer impact by helping the earth, you know, helping the ocean sort of recover from the damage that we've put it through, but it also is a quality of life thing. And I asked myself while we were in my backyard today cleaning up, I asked myself, doesn't the people on this side of the island deserve to be able to walk into the beach and enjoy themselves? Doesn't this side of the island deserve the right to be able to swim in this beach? Why do they have to travel to another part of the island to go to a beach? And so it's a quality of life issue. So started off with, hey, let's identify 50 beaches and 50 bays, 50 beaches and bays, I should say, among the three islands that we would rally, support, and find communities to adopt these beaches and bays, and spend some time building up that momentum and putting together a permanent effort where we're able to maintain the quality of these beaches. And what started off as just a Grenada 50 initiative became an international Caribbean-wide effort to clean our beaches, to beautify our beaches, B-O-B. I don't know if anyone got that. I tried to be kind of subtle with it on the flyer, but you know, B-O-B, beautify our beaches is the mission. But we want to beautify it so that we can do more with it, right? But ultimately, put the word out in a very short period of time. And I am very, very proud to say that, you know, we have secured support across Jamaica. There are 3 locations right now that I know will be cleaned on Bob Marley Day of Service. Now, we also have, you know, MC Morris in the building, representing Trinidad and Tobago. And I gotta make sure, that's what it said there, MC Morris. I gotta make sure that I don't leave out Tobago. I gotta make sure of that.
That's correct.
Right. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here and being present. I sent the word through our mutual friend on Facebook who I know is in Trinidad, loves Trinidad, Brother George. And yes. And so I sent them the details. Now I know you guys it's a serious turn up time. Tell us about the climate right now in Trinidad and Tobago right now as a musician in the soca field. Like, tell us what's going on right now.
What's happening? Good night to everybody. And the correct pronunciation for my name is Mac Morris Edwards, right? So you see MC Morris, Mac Morris, all is well, right? So I'm really elated to be a part of this movement, a part of this community, the global community beach cleanup campaign. And your question is, what's the
well, just give us an idea of the climate right now in Trinidad
and
Tobago.
Well, in the atmosphere right now in Trinidad and Tobago is Carnival 2024, and we had the national Calypso semifinals, which was held on Saturday, and we are having the March Gras on Sunday and Carnival Monday and Tuesday next week. That's the 12th and the 13th. So it's a whole festival kind of atmosphere that is lacking. The accommodation that you is trying to establish in the Caribbean, whereas, tourists come to our island, Trinidad, for this major carnival, and the only beach that they know about that is so popular is Maracas. My location is south on the southwestern peninsula. The border from Trinidad, where I'm at, to Venezuela is like 8 miles. And on this channel here, going all the way up to Guayaguayari, going all the way up to Africa, that's the channel where the slave trade was taking place during the colonization time. This is the channel right here that the slaves dropped out in Moruga and in Palo Seco and all these areas that we have wonderful beaches, but the beaches are in a deplorable condition. And it's a whole bunch of stuff. I think that we landed on a gold mine here with Trinidad on board, especially at my neck of the woods. You all need to come down and see for yourself what I am speaking about and what we could do with the beach in this area to turn it into a super tourism industry.
Yes, sir. And when I start reaching out to the people here in Grenada about what beaches we should go to, they identified those beaches that are a little bit remote. Right. There's a beach that we're going to called Telescope Beach. It's a little bit remote. It's underutilized. And it sounds similar to the space that you're talking about, that it's opportunity.
Yeah.
It's opportunity that's there, but we have to see it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. We have to see solutions when we see problems. Yeah. Right. Because
it's really untapped resources that we have, because remember that Trinidad used to be an oil and gas based economy. It's 100 years of oil and gas. So we really never look at tourism as a major way of income generating system. We depended on oil and gas because we had sugar cane, we had cocoa, coffee, coconut. We had everything on this island, Trinidad and Tobago, to be self-sustainable, to be manufacturers, as you mentioned earlier on. Just not just as guys who purchasing stuff and importing stuff. Trinidad have the ability and the potential to be the hub, the capital of the Caribbean. And this is the opportune time for us to get together as entrepreneurs and people with vision like yours to do stuff, because it's heart-rendering to know that where I'm sitting at here, about 10 minutes walk away from where I am sitting, there used to be a facility called the beach camp. where they used to host the Petrotrin as the oil company workers. And that was a prestige area where there was a helicopter port. There used to be 100+ bungalows where the Petrotrin staff workers used to be living at. And after the closure of the oil company, that facility there is dormant. It is in abandon, and the beach is right there. So we have at least 100 guest houses lying down doing nothing with a beachfront that is
Wow.
not accessible to the community. And the whole scenario is such a mess that I am really, really passionate, and I am very, very serious about what we are doing and what I am getting involved with.
Well, that's a lot to unpack. And I think the fact that you've already identified areas of potential and development, and usually when we get involved, it's already developed, right? We get involved when the structure is already in place, the ownership is already in place and negotiated, and we're coming in just to help. We're just coming in as the help.
Okay.
And so I believe that the cleanup concept is the first step towards ownership, right? When you own a home, you clean up your home, you take care of your home. Sometimes when you're renting, or if you have a renter's mentality, call the landlord. What's the landlord doing about it? What's the government doing about it? But when it's your home and you have investment in it, you approach it differently. And so we want our community to stake claim in this space, in these areas, first by cleaning it. If we take the responsibility to clean it, then we are building equity. We are building, and not only, not to dismiss the fact that it is all indigenous to our community. It is sacred space that has to be treated as such, right? But because this is not just an ordinary beach cleanup movement, we're addressing the full, actually the entire totality of the concept. Because once you clean things, once you pick up the bottles, then the bottles go somewhere else, and there's another industry there. Okay, that's a whole nother industry. That's a whole nother enterprise. That's a whole nother part of the process. And so it's important for us to understand how it all works. We're not here to just collect the bottles. We're here to do something productive with the bottles. We're here to get the bottles, whether it's jewelry or what our special guest who's on the call right now, Mr. Richard LaFlamme. LaFlamme or Flamme? Help me. Sorry, I've never said your last name. Richard, are you there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've never said your last name. How do I say it correctly?
Yeah, LaFlamme is good.
All right. So this entrepreneur, this visionary, is someone who has taken these bottles and glass bottles and plastic bottles and has reverse engineered them, okay, in a laboratory somewhere, and has been able to actually turn it into a sustainable, functional byproduct on the island of Carriacou right now. So he is the founder of No to Single Use Association and a pioneer of the Plastic to Concrete Initiative.
Wow.
Yeah. And he is a game changer, right? He is a blessing to the island. He is a game changer. He is a blessing to islands because of this concept that he has been able to engineer and to actually give proof of production. So Richard, do you mind telling us a little bit on how you stumbled across this concept and how the last few years has gone for you and producing, making people into believers?
Yeah, let me take a few minutes. My name is Richard. My island name is Plastic Man. And because in Carriacou, as you know, everybody has an island name. And I chose my island name. I'm a Grenadian by choice for 8 years now, and I'm very happy to be a Grenadian and to be living in Carriacou. Carriacou is a small island where everybody knows everybody. Then you cannot cheat to any people because they will know right away. I have a question for you. How much plastic is recycled every year? Percentage.
How much plastic is recycled across the world?
Yeah, an average.
I would
Nine-
say, okay, let me guess. I'm not, let's guess. Everybody place a guess. Let's have some fun with this thing. All right. The question is, how much plastic is recycled in the world? Okay. So we're talking about all the plastic that's produced. We're not just talking about bottles here. We're talking about just
Everything.
bottles?
No, everything.
Okay, plastic bags, the whole nine. All right. So I'm gonna throw a number out and I'm gonna say percentage wise, I'm gonna say 20%.
Any other number?
Yeah, 30%.
It's 9%. That means that every year, 91% of plastic is accumulating over and over and over. With the way to concrete technology, we could do 91% annually. Then plastic, okay, is, and it's quite easy to do. That technology is so simple, okay? The only thing you need is a plastic granulator to make the plastic flake, and you don't need to take off the glue. You don't need to take off the cap because the cap is a type 2. For anybody who knows about that, okay, it's a different type of plastic which melts at different temperature. It's a type 1 is the bottle, and then you need to take them out, clean them. Can you guess how many bottles you will collect on a beach cleanup, which would be no contamination for recycling? Maybe 1%.
What happened here? Hello?
It's frozen on my screen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought I was frozen too. Okay. So,
He's having some internet issues.
okay.
Internet
Well, you know, it's Carriacou. I think he'll be popping back on as well. All right. So can you ask that question again, Richard?
back up. He's back up.
Yep.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Then the idea is very simple. Okay, we crunch these bottles or these plastics in very small pieces, 8 millimeters. And then we take 10% of that and we replace 10% of the aggregate, the sand we put in the concrete block. We replace it by 10% of plastic. You know, sand is a limited natural resource. We're going to get out of sand very soon. Then using that method, we accomplish two things. We save the sand and we can entrap or confine. I like confine because it was from COVID. We can confine 91% of all the plastic we collect in those blocks. I have another question for you. How do you set plastic to fire? You need fire.
Yes.
What else do you need? Oxygen. Inside the concrete block, there is no oxygen. The plastic is trapped inside the block. Some people in Taiwan and other places, they do plastic blocks. Can you imagine you build a house with plastic blocks and it's set to fire, impossible to extinguish, and all toxic?
All
With
toxic.
concrete blocks, okay, we can confine this plastic for 100 years. What's that mean? We solved the problem of plastic, of getting the plastic out of the environment for 100 years. And we have 100 years to think about what we're going to do with that block. We have to break again and redo blocks with it. Then the plastic will become a non-issue. See the big problem we have for all this time, okay? And I was very lucky to find a solution, okay? It's not me, I don't want the credit for that, okay? I searched on YouTube and I finally found something like that. The problem with the plastic is if you have that plastic, there is the plastic, which is fantastic product. No product is as good as plastic. And you have plastic disposal. And we always looked at together. What we did, we just split the problem in two. Plastic is good. Don't try to get corn to replace the plastic, because people cannot live, cannot eat anymore because all the corn will go to plastic, okay?
Right.
With this technique, okay, we don't compete with nobody. We just take, okay, from the landfill or from the people on the street, okay, in big bags, okay, they just come, they put the plastic and they put the glass, but I'm not going to talk about that today, but glass is also good. And then we collect that plastic, we shred it, and then we give to a block builder. We don't want to be block builders, okay? There is already people doing that, okay? And this is that simple. We are started 3 years ago with a grant of $20,000 from UNDP to prove the concept, to go to the Bureau of Standards and prove that these blocks with 10% only are Class A structural blocks. We can build houses with it. We already built 7 houses in Carriacou, which is called eco houses with those blocks.
Eco houses. They're called eco houses.
Eco houses, okay? That's my name I give, okay? And it works, okay, because this is exactly the same block that you buy, okay, with no plastic in it. And people, okay, and now what we try to do, okay, we try to expand that. The thing is, I get plastic as a waste on the island. I get the block builders on the island. Zero transportation. No green gas hat, okay, no green gas, okay. We are traveling only a small distance to bring the plastic from the waste management to the granulation and to
the builders.
Then everything is local. Can you just think about India and China? India and China are the biggest producers of cement. They're also the biggest producers of waste plastic. All together, okay, they can get the plastic disappear for 100 years. That's why we think this project is fantastic. And oh, you have a nice picture. And then we are in the process now of be operational. We have the granulators, we have the knowledge, we have already granulated a lot of plastic, 2 tons of plastic already. And we want now to give back that project to the community.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why we want to recognize you, Richard. One of the reasons why, we're putting together a list. Everyone on the call right now, everyone that's involved in this process has been invited and has chosen to be part of this process. Are going to be recognized, for their diligence and their participation. But Richard, you are, what you've been able to pioneer on the island is a model. And the best part of the model, in my opinion, is that you are looking for the locals to empower the locals, right? You are looking for the locals to be able to have a say and to be able to have impact and influence on how this grows. And that is what is needed. It's too many instances, organizations and big business comes in and they tell us, what it's going to be like. And but you are extending an opportunity for ownership, for participation on a very high level, right? Where leadership skills can be cultivated and they can help take this to another level. And that is what we're looking for. We're looking for partners who are looking to empower the community and not strip away their power. And so the reason why I segued to you when I did, Richard, is because our brother McMorris, he was sharing that he's identified spaces for building, right? And when you start talking about these social entrepreneur ventures, to be able to say, hey, we're looking to start this recycling program, this recycling concept that has been proven in Carriacou, and we're looking to do it here, and we're looking to not only be able to provide to turn the plastic into functioning concrete, but we also plan on using that to create our own developments, right? So just as he said, and you heard him say, he got the $20,000 grants, okay? So this space is flush with grant opportunities left, right, and center that are here to empower locals in the Caribbean islands, in their countries and communities, and that are specially designed to impact and reverse what's going on, in the ocean. So, so this is why Richard's on the call, because of course he has pioneered a world-changing concept that will empower locals in the Caribbean, but communities all over. You mentioned India, you mentioned China, but this is an opportunity for us to say, hey, we want to take care of this beach. We want to collect and get involved in the recycling business. We want to clean our beaches so we can get in the recycling business, so we can then take that into this phase of business. Right. So we're talking about a 360 level of involvement with the whole cycle, from bottle to repurposing it to distributing it and using it, as a business. So now that we understand that there are levels to it, and that this is not just an ordinary beach cleanup, we are trying to build, and we are working on building sustainable, functioning business models. And the fact that the oceans, and the fact is that these beaches on our islands are the most sought out real estate in the entire world, right? That it has some of the most precious animals that are endangered, that organizations and groups all over the world will do everything they can to save it, just so that they can come and their kids can come see the turtles. Okay, so we got to understand that we have all of these things in our favor, but we have to be organized, we have to be mobilized, and we have to act now, because this is urgent, right? This is urgent. And I just want to add, yes, please go ahead, please go.
And do you hear me?
Yes, loud and
Yeah,
clear.
we hear you, sir.
And not only that, okay, if you do a beach cleanup today, tomorrow more bottle will come. If you don't have a solution at the end, and getting all these bottles on the beach, all the plastic on the beach, and be able to confine them for 100 years, you don't have to take care of them anymore. They will have no more going in the beach and need to be beach cleaned up. Then your beach will be more and more like they were 100 years ago.
Wow.
Any questions, anyone? McMorris, anything? Would you like to share anything?
But I would really give way to the only lady in the on the forum to hear what was coming from her perspective as well.
Oh, I was just actually interested to know, with regards to producing an actual concrete block, how much plastic is needed to be a part of that process, and then how often, like the plastic that you're collecting, is that plastic that's coming from the ocean? Is that plastic that's coming from you know, what's being used on the island, you know, I was just curious about that.
Suzette is a very good question.
Very excellent.
2025, we want to be able to take all the 400 tons of plastic waste produced on the island and confine it in the blocks. Because we build enough blocks on this island, it's unbelievable how many houses we built to confine all the waste plastic inside. We can do the same thing in Grenada. We can do the same thing in most OECS islands because, okay, we take only 10%, but 10% with the number of blocks we have, okay, we can entrap every plastic and any kind of plastic. The plastic is dirty. If the plastic has other it's not clean, we can even take it, okay? And we don't care if it's type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 6. We take everything inside because we just make a small flick and we entrap the flick.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's very empowering and very encouraging. So what, you mentioned that you used this grant to be able to build the process. How confined is the pricing model to be able to introduce this to other islands?
This is a absolutely excellent question. And I will answer Suzette the second part of her question first, okay? Suzette, what we do, we have big, huge IBC bags around the island. And people come, okay, and get the plastic and the glass, okay, inside those bags. We collect those bags every 2 weeks. We bring those bags to the granulation station and we grind the plastic and the glass. Now, sustainability. Do you think that plastic recycled is sustainable? Do you know that virgin plastic is cheaper than recycled plastic? This is a drop in the ocean. We recycle 9%, but it's more expensive to put the plastic back, okay, in the environment. And that's why with this project, because the only function we do is to granulate the plastic, okay? It's not that expensive. You need a plastic granulator. You have the normal waste management organization to collect the plastic, transport the plastic, and then we give it the plastic to the block builders. And we send to the block builders. The cost of the plastic will not be more expensive than the sand we take off from your process. Then the plastic is sold to 88 cents a kilogram. And this is enough to make the project sustainable.
Amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. And so just to reiterate, you mentioned that normally in the normal recycling process, they take the plastic to make more plastic.
Yeah.
Right. And you're saying it's more expensive to turn it back into plastic than it is for us to turn it into concrete. And
great.
I'm sorry?
And the quality of the plastic degrades. You cannot make a bottle of plastic with recycled plastic.
And these recycled lesser plastics, are they more susceptible to releasing microplastics, you know, when it's in the sun and it's cooking on the beach?
As long as it's plastic, it creates microplastic.
Yeah.
If you make tile with full 100% plastic and you walk on the tile, you make microplastic. If you walk on a concrete block, you cannot get the plastic. The plastic is inside. Then it cannot create microplastic for 100 years.
So, and so the microplastics are a grave concern right now because it's ending up in our fish. the fish are consuming it, and we're consuming the fish.
Yeah.
All right. So we're ingesting these microplastics now. Like that's happening now.
Right.
Okay.
And not only that, it's going to happen more and more if we continue to recycle the plastic. Because don't forget, 91% of the plastic is not recycled. Then that 91% for years and years and years will continue to go in the ocean. But if you untrap 91% of the plastic, then we'll have less and less plastic going in the ocean and less microplastic.
I like to just, you know, and I think everyone's familiar with how they talk about from sea to plate, right? That process, right? Like when you're in an island, it's sea to plate, right? So there's no, you're not inspecting this fish. There's no, you know, there's no inspector checking for microplastics in the fish, right? It comes out of the water, goes into more hot water, and then gets on your plate. All right.
Yeah.
So we have no idea which fish have already been compromised, which are already polluted with these microplastics.
And this is not my mission. My mission is to think big, act bold. You see, at the beginning, I was building eco planters. This is a drop in the ocean. How many eco planters can I do to get rid of 91% of the plastic on the island? But the blocks, we do blocks. We do 2,000 blocks per day. Every day on this island, we do 2,000 blocks. And we build houses with it. And that's why, okay, this project for me is key to disconnect the plastic, which is a fantastic product, to the disposal. And we dispose of everything. We don't continue to put these plastic in the ocean and put these plastic in the fish and the birds.
Right.
And that's why
we're going to change it. We're going to change it completely. We're going to change it. We're going to change it completely and put it in a static, you know, any static product that can be used right away. And so I told you that this project has layers. And so we did get a little deep. And so I want us to scale back a little bit so we could zero in on how this One Love, One Beach, specifically the Carriacou initiative, on how we are going to begin working with Richard and Say No to Plastic, and how all our cleaning efforts are going to help collect these bottles, and we're going to get it to his to the process so it can go through the process. So we can take the bottles from the sea, from the sand, from the shore, and put it into his capable hands and turn it into concrete. Right. So we're here to, like I said, create these solutions in all of the islands that are participating in this Bob Marley Day of Service, right? So we're here now that we have, like you, Mr. McMorris, we have, you know, people in many other islands, and I'm just really hoping that they at least pop in and show their face. But I've been communicating with a lot of people, and tomorrow we'll get all the content and we'll be able to show the world on whose board, our friends from the Cayman Islands and several different organizations in Jamaica and St. Lucia. I did get a chance to speak to Mr. Ford. He sent me some pictures of the beach that he'll be going to tomorrow. So, and so forth. But the idea is for us to be able to work with you individuals and to be able, yes, sir.
Mr. Lee, I'm sorry I have to leave. Okay, but guys, you have the right thing. You're doing the right thing.
Let me make this last point before you make your closing statement. So just for the record, just for the video that's being recorded right now, I just want to just say thank you, Richard, for partnering up with the Bob Marley Day of Service One Love, One Beach initiative. Thank you for giving us a place to take these bottles to be able to convert it into concrete. Thank you for extending and opening the door for leadership, local leadership, to be able to work with you on building this business and sharing with us the business so that we can empower other Caribbean communities around the world. And so we are recognizing you as a game changer, as a true steward of the earth, and of the ocean. And we have a very special acknowledgement that we'll be sending out to you and putting online. So I just wanted to congratulate you as being one of the 2024 steward of the ocean. And thank you for, like I said, for participating in this initiative and allowing us to build a full circle model of what it means from going from just doing a regular beach cleanup to being able to put it into a place where it could be produced into something very productive. So thank you very much. Now, and for the recording, I have to just say this. So for all of the groups that are participating in Carriacou, now is this Grenada as well? Or are we just doing Carriacou? For the beach, for the pickups, is it just Carriacou or is it Grenada as well?
It's for now, it's just Carriacou.
Okay, so right now, so all the efforts and all the teams that are working on the beaches and the bays in Carriacou, we need to work with you because there's going to be a certain level, a threshold that you have to collect in order for Richard to send a team to go out and get it. So if you're not able to reach that threshold, then we're going to ask you to bring it to the landfill. So can you just share the directions of and the location of the landfill that all of our volunteers would be bringing the plastics and the glass bottles to?
That's a good question. The landfill. Yes.
Can I quickly extend a open invitation to the scientists? I brand you as a scientist because in Trinidad, what is happening with plastic in Trinidad is it's very heart-rendering to know that tons of plastic is being burnt every day. So your market in Trinidad is a huge market. That idea that you have there, I am extending an invitation to you for an expansion of that manufacturing industry in my community of Palo Seco, because I am the holder of 3 acres of land presently that I could guarantee you that you could come to Trinidad and let us set up a factory and let us start to manufacture those same blocks in Trinidad with immediate effect. So you have an open invitation to think about. We are connected here on this platform, and it's too much plastic wasting on this island. Tons of plastic burning every day. Tons of plastic just going to waste because you know what? Nobody had that idea that you has. Nobody in this country. So I will do some research tomorrow and see if there is any plastic recycling taking place in this country, like what you are doing. And I will be sending out a notification to stop the burning of plastic with immediate effect throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So your invitation is open, sir. Let me know when you're ready to come and start this process.
Anytime.
1 second. So here's the thing, McMorris, and I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'm going to just say on the recording, like we are building a process and a system of a system. All right. This is and the system doesn't work unless people believe in the system. All right. So I need you to understand, I need everyone watching this video to understand that we're not playing these games. This is what happens in our community. It's a problem. Okay. It's a problem because here I'm telling you that we're building a system. I already told you 20 times that we want to come to Trinidad. You've identified place. That's what we're doing. Okay. So it's very important for us to understand that we're not playing those cut some people out game. Okay. Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work unless it's complete.
Yes.
Right? You can't tear off a page and say, I just want to tear this. 1 second, Richard. You can't just tear off a page and say, you know what, let me tear this page off and go over here and do something over in Trinidad. All right. That's the wrong attitude. Okay? That's the wrong attitude, sir. So I love your enthusiasm, but I have to kill that right now. Okay, because we're not playing that game. We are here to build sustainability. We are here to build legacy, and we are here to save our planet. And we are going to do so. We are going to do so together. It doesn't one love. It takes all one love.
I only went there because Mr. Richard said he was leaving. He was leaving the meeting, so I just. But
he's part. We are a team. We are in our board meeting right now with the team.
So it's exactly what we do. Don't worry. Don't worry. No page will be turned off.
All right,
No
don't,
page,
because
no
you need
page.
all the pages to make it
That's
work.
it, that's it. No page will be torn.
Yes, Richard.
Just to tell you that I'm already 75 and I don't have too many years to go. That's
Yes,
why I
sir.
want to do as quick as
Yes,
possible.
I'm-
Okay? And to answer your question, David, the landfill, okay, is known as the sixth road. Everybody on the island know, because it's only 6,000 people on the island, they know where is the landfill. When they enter the landfill, there is a big, big cage, 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot, to just drop the plastic inside that cage, and we'll take care of the rest.
That's a serious reality. That's a serious reality that we are all coming to grips with. And but it starts off with a simple cleanup. So Richard, we will let you know about the pickups. We will let you know about and you didn't share about the landfill. So I asked you the question about where do people go to take the material to the landfill. Can you just identify where they take all the bottles that they collect on the cleanup?
Oh, I think we lost you. I just explained that, but I will
Okay.
re-explain.
Thank you. Thank you.
Watch the video.
But that's why we recorded, man. Richard, you have a great night. Congratulations again for being recognized. Thank you for joining our team, man. One love.
Thank you
much.
for the information.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Sir.
So, so now to the people that are going to do, to those who are going to be on the ground, those who are going to be on the ground, those who are going to be on the beach in the heat. I got stung by some trees today. I forgot there's trees that bite, eh? One second. I'm so sorry, Phil. Hello, brother. Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, I got bit by a tree today. And hey, it's a labor of love. You get out there, you're working, and the thing got me good. But now I got the scars to prove it that I'm about that life for real, because I didn't back down and I kept working even though I wanted I wanted some ice. I don't know what I wanted. Like, I don't know what I could do about it, but you just got to tough it out. They just said put some seawater on it, man. They just said go in the sea, go in the sea. But and I kind of reserve this part of the conversation to record it in our Zoom so that we can for those who would be on the ground, because there are really 3 elements that we're concerned with. We're concerned about the science, and we talked a little bit about the science. We talked about the plastic recycling, but there's real science that's out there right now that we need to not only educate ourselves on, but we need to be able to teach it, right? And we need to understand the urgency of the situation, because it is urgent, it is dire. And that information seems to be withheld from the people. And every day is just a beautiful day on the beach. But every day, a lot of these beaches are being eroded, right? And so even if we build something on a part of a beach, if we don't know what's happening to that part of the beach, it may not be around in 10 years. All right. There's a beach in Jamaica right now. Okay. There's a beach in Jamaica right now that is losing ground. It's called Hellshire, right? And over the past 15 years, 33 meters of the beach has been consumed by the ocean, right? And the erosion is a result of sea level rising and deterioration of the coastline natural defense, the reefs, right? So the coral reefs and the trees that are along the shore, we're losing them. And those are the things that keep the shore in place, right? So when the water runs down, those trees keep the sediments and the shoreline intact. But when we start losing those mangrove trees, and I don't know if that's but that's a serious situation in Grenada, the mangrove trees along the shore, losing those are losing the defense. So there's a science part of it. And, we're not going to force it down people's throat in one day, but it's a course. So we're looking to teach our people. We're looking to certify our people, right? There's curriculum out there that we've identified that allows us to create teams, sandwatch teams. That's what it's called, a sandwatch. Okay, so we've been looking and scouring the whole world to find curriculum so that we could teach children, so we can teach adults about the conditions of their environment, so they could be more aware of it, so that we can start going after this money. Okay, so and that's the thing, because in order for us to do anything, it's going to require money. And so whenever there's going to be money involved, then it's going to have to be respect and loyalty and those kind of things that we're going to be asking for the people who we're going on this mission with, because we're going to be entrusting you to represent this organization. We're going to be entrusting you to represent this mission, so that you personally can help develop your community and empower your community. But we have to do it as a Caribbean-wide initiative. And you know what? And I have to do it with people who I've never met before. And so it's something that I'm up for the challenge, and I'm prepared for it. But it is going to require, a lot of risk and a lot of trust, right? But I believe our people can do it. I believe the people who care about this simple project of cleaning up a beach are good people, right? That's why this is not a get rich promotion. This is not let's enterprise and grow business and build legacy. This is just clean a beach. We're looking for humble people, caretakers of the earth, who just care about doing the simple work that can have a major impact. And those people who just care about doing the simple work, those are the people that we feel like we can build, and grow this with. Because you know what, we'll need you to represent to your local organization, to the local governments and everyone else. And as a Caribbean-wide organization, we need feet on the ground, and we need people of high integrity. And so when I found out, McMorris, about who you are, what you are, and I look forward to learning more about you, we want this to also be artist-led, because, artists have an incredible platform. They have an incredible influence. And Bob Marley is the artist, right? So it always goes back to the artist, right? And what did Bob Marley use his music for, right? To preach one love, to preach emancipate yourself from mental slavery, right? To preach slave driving, like he taught us. And so artists are the ones who we want to be at the foothold of this, at the front lines of this, and in the leadership capacity. So science, we're going to get into science, y'all, right? And we're going to teach it, and we're going to get money to teach people, and we're going to help get people certified so that they can actually apply for different jobs, and that they'll be more qualified than someone else in certain jobs because they've gone through training and things that we put together. So then there's a social situation, right? And unfortunately, our guest, Devin Duran, wasn't able to come on. Devin Taylor wasn't able to come on, but we are going to be talking about the social consequences of losing our beaches to not just erosion, but also being taken away from us from the government. So think about it. This precious land, this precious space that our generations of our families have benefited from and enjoyed, right, now is being threatened. And if it's not being threatened by the environment, it's being threatened by someone else, an outside entity, saying, hey, I see this undeveloped. Because just as you see it, McMorris, somebody else sees it too, right? And the people with the resources, they're just waiting for the right time. They're waiting for the right people to get in office. They're waiting for the right moment to strike, and then it's gone. And when it's gone, it's gone. So we have to be proactive, and that's why we have to have people on the ground who can identify these spaces. But there's also, and I'm going to share with you all right now, there's a Caribbean island called Bonaire, Bonaire, Bonaire. Bonaire. Now, they are suing the Dutch government right now because they're saying the Dutch government didn't do enough to protect them from climate change. They are suing the government, but the nearby government, saying, you know what? You guys are responsible. You're the big power. You guys are responsible. You didn't do enough to prevent this from happening to us, right? So that's what's happening. So there's legal stances that communities can start taking. And these are some of the social ramifications and the social advocacy that we want to support. So those kind of initiatives, we're here to support that. One Love, One Beach. We're here to support that. We're here to support the Jamaican Beach Birthright Environmental Movement. They have a GoFundMe going on right now, okay? So we want to use this platform from now to March 22nd and beyond, of course, but we want to use this moment in this historical moment right now, the first time that a Caribbean-led, Caribbean-wide cleanup has taken place, right? Normally when the outside organizations come in, they say today's Earth Day, today's Coastal Cleanup Day, and that's when we show up and we clean. Right, I've seen what they've done in Trinidad and Tobago. This is how I know who's doing what, because I just Google online and I start finding out all these organizations, and guess what? There's all these headlines of Trinidad and Tobago and all kind of other places where they've collected a 1,000 pounds, 1,000 kilograms of bottles, right? And they're celebrating that. But the truth of the matter is, they should have never got that bad. How can you pat yourself on the back because you cleaned up 1,000 kilograms or 1,000 pounds of plastic? That means it's been laying there for an entire year. So you wait for it to build up for one whole year and then so you can make big headlines? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's not acceptable. So this is, and there's a season for these cleanups, right? And it starts kicking in April, and then there's a June, and then there's a September or November. So this is the beginning of the cleanup season. So now we've taken the initiative to be on the front line, to say we are going to set the tone. We are going to start rallying our communities. So when these other major moments, global moments of cleanup happen, we already have the manpower. We're already organized. We already have the people who are willing to hit the beach. And you know, we already can say we've been cleaning this beach for the last 6 months, right? And they're going to see us, they're going to meet us on the beach, right? They're not going to show up and look around and say, look how filthy your beach is. They're going to see how organized and committed and dedicated we are to keeping our beaches clean. So like I said, the social advocacy part of what we have to do is a big deal. And you know what? I'm still talking to Richard about finding out if we can, with our cleanup, if we can find a way to generate revenue to help support this GoFundMe for the Jamaican Beach Birthright Environmental Movement. So I'm still trying to figure out how we, in fact, can be able to take the work that we do and how it can generate some kind of commerce so that we can actually make some donations to that fundraiser. And the last part that I'll share with you all is the spiritual contribution, the spiritual component to what we do. Okay, this is very different. This is what separates us from any other cleanup, in my opinion. All right, what we're doing here, the spiritual concept of it is that these oceans are in fact cemeteries. These oceans contain more African bodies than probably from any other place in the world. The ocean dries up, they're going to find millions of people of African descent in the bottom of these oceans because we were thrown into the oceans and we were pushed into the ocean and we jumped into the ocean ourselves during the various different slave trades and things that have taken place. And so it is a sacred space for us. It is a sanctified space for us. And so we need to treat it with that level of respect and have that level of appreciation for it and help others understand that this is not just a place of leisure for us. This is not just a place of leisure. You know, McMorris, you talked about the coastline, which is part of that's the entire slave story, enslaved people's story, right? That's
I'm 100% in I'm 100% with you on this initiative, wholeheartedly.
Yes,
And
sir.
from where I'm at, from my neck of the woods is a lot of challenges, but I got your invitation yesterday, and I am going to start to mobilize my community from tomorrow, please God. But I would need something more substantial from your organization as towards making my presentation to my community. I am also the CEO, Managing Director of a cultural organization by the name of the Birds Calypso Tent, where from where I'm at, this is my recording studio. And right at the other area behind my computer is my online radio station. I am in the process of developing an entertainment park on the side of my building right here where I'm at, where
Amen.
work is already in progress. We already do the groundwork and we host events right here as well. So I am a community activist who trying to work with the young people who has an interest in entertainment, writing songs, learning to play an instrument. And what I am offering in my community of Palo Seco is you come in, you record your music, you write your songs, you record your music in my recording studio. I put your music on my online radio station, and I give you a stage to perform outside as well and take you even further out to the wider community. One of my artists, who is King Solomon, he did a show in Jamaica last night, and he records here in my recording studio. And to, to hear what you has in this initiative, this initial stage, it sounds to me like something that is so huge that I might not even sleep for the rest of the week.
Well,
Because I'm saying this because now is we are winding up the carnival celebration.
yeah.
And I am very, very active in promoting my artists and my group around this time as well. So I will not be in a position to say that this week I will be able to do anything on the beach that I have targeted. But what I will do, I will send some recommendations to the mayor of this county and notify him that I am getting involved in a project with you, right? And I will need him to give me that support by supplying me with some sort of machinery and some sort of tools and some sort of safety equipment to start what I'm going to start. And
Well, and I do understand how that is a busy season, and that's why I asked about the climate, because the fact that you are making time to be here during such a very busy time speaks volumes about your interest and your commitment. So I wanted to make that connection, and that's kind of why I asked you about what's taking place there. And I mentioned that there's a lot of layers, and I didn't want to share too much of the layers because it can be overwhelming, and I wouldn't want to wish, having restless nights on anyone. That's what I'm here for. But I will say this much. What we're looking to achieve tomorrow, all right, is the smallest scale of effort that is humanly possible.
Okay.
This campaign goes until March 22nd.
Okay.
Okay, so there is time for me to produce the paperwork to identify you as our representative in Trinidad and Tobago, and that you target this beach, and then we start reaching out to all the different organizations, and maybe there's businesses along the beach that would like to donate things, and so we'll help you and support you where that you are able to pull off something really special and monumental for your community. But ultimately, what the goal is for this year, the first ever Bob Marley Day of Service, is to have one person that has some love to pick one beach and fill up one bag.
Okay.
Right? One beach, one bag. Right? On Bob Marley Day of Service. Right? All we need is one. And then you know what that means? That means when you send me a picture of you on a beach with one bag, with one bottle in it, okay? What that means is Trinidad and Tobago has taken part.
I'm with you.
That is it. It's a bag, it's one beach and one person who loves their community, loves Bob Marley, loves the culture. And then tomorrow, once we get the pictures, once we get the video of everyone's effort, the smallest effort possible, Okay, doesn't have to, because we're not going to change the world. We're not going to clean the beach. I was on the beach today for an hour, and I could have spent 7 more hours, right? Like it just, there was no end. And I knew that we weren't out here for that. We are not out here to save the planet in one day. Okay, we are out here to do something collectively and show the world that we were able to rally all of these people on all these islands on one day to spend an hour, right? So all we're looking to do, the absolute most, is, you know, somebody from Trinidad, you sir, and from Trinidad and Tobago, with a bag, picking up 2 pieces of bottle, sending the pictures, and then it's like, we started. The seed has been planted. All we're doing is planting seeds in the sand. So, you know, if you're able to pull that off, then that means Trinidad and Tobago was part of this first year Caribbean-wide effort to beautify our beaches. If you don't, then there's a chance that Trinidad and Tobago was not part of it. I'm just not.
Yeah,
I
6
don't
a.m.
mean,
6
I don't
a.m.
mean to
tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm on shore. I'm on the seashore.
Come
6
on.
a.m. because I am just 5 minutes away from the shores. Yeah.
There you go. So you'll be the first one there. You'll be the first one reporting with a report.
Hopefully.
Yeah, God willing. Listen, I tell you what, there's an initiative at 8 in the morning. And they wanted me on the beach at 6 in the morning here in Grenada, right? I was like, I'm not, like, you got to get around on buses. I needed 3 buses. I was like, I cannot make it there for 6 in the morning. So I negotiated them to 8 in the morning. That's a good point, Suzette. Thank you. She said a before and an after photo too. So maybe if you could take a picture of some of the work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And then, then a couple pictures of, of stuff in the bag, and then we'll be able to fill in the rest of the story. And then with that content, we'll be able to create the marketing material you need to say, this beach is in need, that we've identified this beach as a beach in great need. And this is why you picked the beach. And this is why they need to help you clean this beach, because it's a shared responsibility. So at 8 in the morning, I'm going to be live on Instagram on One Love, One Beach. And a group is going to be at a beach here in Grenada, at Telescope Beach. I'm going to be on my computer like this. And we're going to allow the whole world to be part of this opening ceremony. We have what's called a water acknowledgement. And it's something that I'm going to read, something that I've been struggling with for years to produce, because I recognize the significance of these waterways, whether it's the ocean, where our ancestors were thrown off boats or jumped off boats, or it's the rivers in New York, where I live half my life, where the Underground Railroad, and many of us died in the Niagara River. So there's bodies of water. Bodies of water has us, our bodies are in it. No matter what body of water it is, there's Black bodies in it. And so what they have to understand is that makes it sacred. That makes it ours, and we have to take care of it. So I'll be doing a water acknowledgement online at 8 a.m. on Instagram. So, if you want to tap in, you'll be able to witness what's going on. But at your leisure, when you are able to get out there and represent for Trinidad and Tobago, and we look forward to getting your report from you, and being able to use that to build momentum to rally the community around your efforts, sir.
Definitely.
All right. So I will, I like to acknowledge Suzette Vidal as being one of the most accomplished steel pan artists in the entire world. There's no way I let this lot.
You're biased.
Okay, a little, but I'm also.
There's no way I can compete with Trinidad.
Okay, so.
And the amazing, stellar, gifted, talented panists that are out there.
She's so humble. I tell you, I know. So, and I will just say for the record, and I guess this is probably the live is probably over because we've kind of gone somewhere else with it. But I will say this much, that Suzette Vidal has this ability to take her level to whatever level she's playing with. If she's playing with some people, she's able to play on the level. She's able to level up, right? Like when you play against a great basketball player, you need to level up or you get dominated, right? Like you need to be able to switch gears. If you're driving down the street and people are able to switch gears and all of a sudden they leave you in the dust, that's because you couldn't switch gears. You didn't have enough gears to switch up with them. So I will say this, Evidel, you are very humble and I love that about you, but I want you to know I've also seen you switch gears with the best of them. And I've seen you grind on the pan. I've seen you bang a pan with authority. Okay. So whenever you're challenged and you're in a room with some of the greatest, I can't wait to see you in the room with the greatest so that you can see that you are able to play note for them and find out that you have that greatness in you too, girl. So just for the record.
I
That's great.
appreciate your words. I appreciate your words. I do.
She said I'm biased. We're family. So she said I'm a little biased because she is the love of my life. I am blessed with her as my partner in life. Right. This is so
Ain't nothing wrong with that, sir.
So this is why she said that. I know. I got over the fact that she's from Trinidad and Tobago and I'm from Grenada a long time ago. I got over everybody can't be perfect. So
I
but
know. I feel sorry for you. It's okay. I still accept you.
but I know.
There you
But
go.
here's but you needed to know, and the world needed to know that this is an artist-led movement. And Suzette, you've been there for the cleanups, and I was sharing, and I didn't share much about my bio, but working on the environment and being in this space, I've done a lot of cleanups. I mean, I get grimy, I get into the dirty spots, and I pick our communities. Right. Like this is something that I'm very passionate about, something that I'm consistently doing, and I consistently target my communities and invest my energy in my communities. And so, this is a moment where we are able to say every Caribbean island is our Caribbean island, is our own. And for us to be able to operate and speak with one voice in this very important moment is special. And I couldn't do it without everyone on the call and everyone who has responded and supported this initiative. So, in a few hours, it'll be Bob Marley Day of Service, the first Bob Marley Day of Service. And for those who are not aware, this Day of Service concept comes from something that I participated in the States. So on Martin Luther King Day, okay, MLK Day, it's called Martin Luther King Day of Service. Okay. And the entire world, right? The entire world that I've seen on the internet, but all of America for sure, 100%. It is a holiday. So it's a day that they've used for a day of service. So they go out and everybody's cleaning up everything, right? Roads and parks and whatever's in their community. It's a day of activity. It's a day of giving back. It's a day of serving, your community. So, that is a spectacular thing to watch. And if you just type in online, Martin Luther King Day of Service, MLK Day of Service, you'll see hundreds and thousands of initiatives by communities all over America who come together in honor of Martin Luther King. And I believe that the artist community needs to do the same for Bob Marley, that it's not just a day for us to just, get on stage and sing his songs, but let's do something to take care of the place that he's from, the Caribbean islands. Let's do something to help support Jamaica, the place where he was born. And let's, and let's do something that will extend his legacy of impacting the world. And that's what we're all going to do a little bit tomorrow. So I thank you all again for coming on, spending 2 hours on a call with me. And with each other. And so I appreciate everyone sharing what they shared. And I will allow anyone who would like to have the closing word.
I was going to ask if McMorris, if you're online, I'd love to follow you. If you are, I don't know if you're on social media.
Yes, I am. I am there. You just type my name in, the same McMorris.
Yes.
And you find me. Right,
Okay.
Caribbean Pulse.
Oh, Caribbean Pulse. Okay.
Yeah, and you see most of our community projects there. We had couple of events for this carnival season. Well, I'm now aware that you are Trinidadian, you're a steel pan player, and so steel pan and calypso goes together.
Right.
Without calypso, the panelists wouldn't get the music to play. So there we
True.
go. There we
It's
go.
true.
It's truly a Caribbean thing. And I really want to
Yeah.
thank the presenter for the opportunity to discuss and to even be a part of the Bob Marley's Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. Like we
Yes.
say, 6 a.m. tomorrow, please God, we'll be making that effort to make that presentation.
Right.
So who's gonna do the one love? You're playing the music a little bit, and brother, you're welcome. I thank you for your extending that thanks to me, and I give God all the glory, right? Like I am just following his assignment. I am just his son, and like I said, the spiritual component of it. The first instructions we were given was be fruitful and take care of the earth, right? Like, and we just missed that. We just like skipped all of that, the
Yeah.
basic.
Yeah.
We just act like that's not important anymore. Let's get to, whatever is important to us. But he made it very clear in the very beginning, you were created so that you can manage this earth that I've given you. And so this is us just following God's instructions. And this is me following his direction. And I thank him for leading you all to me, to this moment, I should say. So I did want us to make sure we leave in a one love mood, in a mode, and we got some artists.
One thing before you leave, there's a well listened to radio station that we has down here, 90.1 FM. I'm going to work with you as trying to get you to do a live interview on that frequency. It's an FM frequency which the entire world listens. They promote calypso music, local music all the time, and we working together. So I will try to set an interview for you on that platform so that you could talk about what's happening for the Caribbean at your level.
And here's what's great about that, and just to let you know that this is a team atmosphere. That we here to win, right? And so we have to learn how to enter into a market and how to secure and to capture the attention of a market and to lift people up. So think about it. You tell me to get on the radio, so I get on the radio. But guess what I do on the radio? I tell them that McMorris is the guy. You see, McMorris is the guy. Right. So but you put me on the radio, right? You call them and say, hey, you got to talk to the founder of One Love, One Beach, right? We put together a Caribbean-wide Beautify Our Beaches initiative for Bob Marley, put them on the radio. Then you get to put me on the radio, and all I do is tell them that, thanks to McMorris for stepping up to representing Trinidad and Tobago, making sure they were part of this moment, part of this movement. And, he's the guy on the ground to help us make it happen, right? So that's how we enter into a market. That's how we establish ourselves in the market and get the respect and from our people, right? Because, I shouldn't be bigging up myself. Someone should be making introduction. So that once I'm in the door, I'm able to set the tone and say, well, this is the guy, right? And now we're a company. Now we're an organization. Now we're respected, and that's the key. That's the key, brother. So I look forward to the opportunity to be able to identify you as the part of this Caribbean-wide movement and the person to contact in the Trinidad and Tobago community, man. So let's do it, let's do it. But tomorrow, like I said, all we're doing tomorrow is we're going on the beach. We're taking some pictures. We might sing a little One Love. We might say a prayer, because the spiritual connection is important. Say a prayer, man. Pray over listen, I watched a ceremony, a water ceremony in Carriacou yesterday in honor of the Maroons. And they went to the water and they brought food and they poured libation. And they shared a feast, right? And they shared it with the sea in honor of our ancestors there, man. It was spectacular, it was moving, and it was exactly what I felt in my spirit needed to be done. So for me to witness it being done by someone else, it validated the fact that I felt the need to do it. You know what I mean? So, and we've had control over, don't make me get preaching, man. Don't make me get to preaching. So, so yeah, man. So are we ready to? I need a video, 10 seconds, 15 seconds of, I don't know how much of the song we need to sing, but I need us to rock just a little bit so I can put on social media and just.
Oh yeah. You need some guitar as well.
Yep, bring it out, pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. I need all of it. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
You want the track?
Really, 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 really. Well, what we can do is we can do what's the song? Redemption song?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Redemption song, yeah.
But if we could do One Love, I think One Love is the one we
One
redemption.
love. Okay.
Redemption song
Okay.
is at the beach. When you go to
Your
the
choice. Your choice. Your choice.
yeah, well, but redemption song is a perfect song for when you're at the beach and you're connecting, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the spirit of our ancestors. That's the spirit. But something for me to put online right now is One Love, One Beach. You know, the movie's coming out, One Love. So everything about One Love, One Beach, one community, one destiny, one God, one aim, the whole nine. So let's get unified.
Take my next guitar away. The red one now. I need to change this guitar. This
Take your time, Professor.
that
Take your
one.
time, Professor.
Professor. Yeah, this one.
You call that guy a scientist. So
yes, yes.
so then that
Oh, he
means
is. He is. He is.
nah,
a scientist.
he is a scientist. He's a scientist.
Really good.
This is beautiful. I'm so excited. So excited, man. Live from Trinidad. What? Live from Trinidad.
Life in Trinidad. That's
Live from Trinidad. So gangster.
yeah, give me the box. Right now I'm using the microphone to no, this one, not this one, this one missing a string. I'm supposed to have one love on a music track, you know, an instrumental track somewhere here. That's what I should have been tapping all the time. Why this not play? Take all this, change it around.
Do it, are you frozen?
No. Let me see.
What an amazing initiative.
Stop. Hold on. Stop recording.